Hello and welcome to another video from Truckers World. I hope you're all doing well out there. I'm not doing too bad myself. As previously spoken of, I have been told that they are going to be phasing out drivers, agency drivers here. However, work still continues. A couple of days here and there, so I've got 4 more days next week. Although it does look like for the time being I'm going to be working either Saturday or Sunday each and every week. Some people like that, some people don't. For now, due to my circumstances, I will take that. Okay, so today's video is all about car drivers, and for lorry drivers, they're very frustrating. It's as simple as that. Okay, so what's prompted me to make this video today? Well, it's happened to me a few times, and I've seen it happen to many other drivers as well, lorry drivers that is. And I saw it this morning on a busy motorway. You've got 2 lanes going to the right, junctioning off to a different motorway, 2 left lanes on the left doing the same on a different motorway, and obviously you've got to pull over to the right at some point, and obviously it's heavy traffic at that time in the morning. So a class 1 try and do this, difficult for him to get through, nobody wants to let him in. When he finally did get in, hey presto, car behind him zoomed up on the left and of course give him a good beeping, and it's like, really? You know, absolutely stupidity and just selfish behaviour, just shallow thinking as well. You know, I've seen it happen a few times with me on bin trucks. They get a lot of beeping from cars, just very impatient and not understanding the nature of the job. And of course it's happened to me a few times where I've been waiting to turn left, waiting to turn right, and you're having a few beeps, and it's, you know, what do you want me to do? This is the way I need to go. And more often than not, as a car driver, unless, you know, you jump in the queue or you're taking forever to get in when you can get in, you don't have to deal with that. You really don't. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to, you know, frustrating car drivers. And this video is aimed for new but also experienced drivers, you know, how you deal with it. You know, I'll give you a couple of tips and hints. Some of it, I would say most of it's common sense, but it's just to let you know what I do, you know, in those kind of scenarios. And there's been times, obviously, especially when you're changing lanes on the motorway, you know, you sometimes come on the motorway and you're actually in the right-hand lane. You've got to go all the way over to the left-hand lane, which means 2 left-hand changes. And I don't particularly like going back in the left-hand lanes. I do it, you know, and it comes every day, that, but I don't like doing it because car drivers on the left-hand lanes tend to want to get past you. And I've done it myself, you know, there's no doubt about that, but I'm very cautious when I do it myself. And it's undertaken, you know, and apparently it's obviously against the law, but when these car drivers are doing it, they're zooming past you really fast, and it's really dangerous when you're trying to manoeuvre in there slowly and safely. Likewise, when you're driving along and there's junctions on the left, cars waiting to pull out, you know that a lot of them can't wait to get out. They're there, they're waiting to get out, and as soon as there's a bit of a gap, they'll pull through. As simple as that. Sorry, I'm just going to monitor. There we go. A little bit better. A lot of light coming in here. I don't understand why. You know, and same when, for example, you're driving along and there's cars that are opposite you waiting to turn to their right, into their right junction. And again, you know, how many cars will zip past you just as you're approaching. You know, it's quite dangerous, and it's just not the done thing. And I have to obviously put a message out there to car drivers. Yes, as lorry drivers, we are car drivers, and I'll be honest, we have been in certain positions like that. But how, you know, since becoming a lorry driver, you do become so much more patient on the road, certainly for me anyway. And you do become patient with other drivers because you know what it's like. If, you know, lost maybe, you know, trying to find a junction, you know, you hold back a little bit. You just let, you know, there's a reason why most drivers might slow down or why they might just be taking their time. And as car drivers, to lorry drivers, it's just not, it's not on, especially with class 1 drivers. You know, they're trying to manoeuvre their vehicle in and out of lanes, going to junctions, they might have to reverse, you know, and you're getting these impatient car drivers giving it, beeping on the horn. It's just, forgive my language, you know, if I do slap off on one here, because, you know, it really gets to me, that. As a lorry driver myself, like you all guys out there, you know, when you have to perform certain manoeuvres, you just need a bit of patience. So anyway, on to the tips then, what I do now. Well, over time, it does get easier for us drivers. We do get patient, and we do almost accept certain behaviours. And that's really wrong to say that, isn't it, really? But you kind of just take it in your stride. Yeah, you know, someone beeping like that behind me, that class 1 Arctic, for example, trying to change lanes, you do get a bit frustrated, a bit flustered, depending on the scenario. But a lot of the time, if I was in that situation, he'd go past beep and I'd be like, yeah, so what, mate? You know, you have to bloody wait, won't you? Simple as that. And I notice a lot of lorry drivers are like that. He'll have to wait. Yeah, I'll get there. I'll get in when I get in, and that's a really good attitude to take. Just taking your time and not reacting, not getting yourself flustered over it. The difficulty part of that is if you are in a difficult situation. For example, if you're trying to squeeze in a left or right turn, trying to reverse in, and you've got a lot of cars waiting, yeah, that's the time when you might get a bit flustered. You know, maybe if you chosen words to anyone who does beep you might be a good thing, as long as you don't overdo it, because they have to know they're in the wrong. They have to know that. And most car drivers will accept the scenario. They'll understand it. But it's just, you know, the few and far between us that just do not. Also as well, obviously remaining calm, that's always a great idea, and you will learn that patience. You will learn to take your time, hopefully, and accept it. And it just, you know, you become that kind of like, it just skims off you. It really does. It's not, you know, it's not too bad, and it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it'll just skim off you those kind of beeps and remarks. Thinking ahead and anticipation, they're the key things. You know, I'm not asking you to suck eggs here, you know all this, but I'm just going to just let you know, always anticipate them. You know, whenever you're changing lanes to the left, you know, just have a think. If he's coming up too close, wait. If you're unsure, and and if he is sure, he will flash you, and that'll be your cue. But just take your time, anticipate him going past you on the left, undertaking you. Likewise, if you're driving past junctions and the people are waiting to come out, be aware and anticipate, expect them to come out, okay? Still keep driving, you drive normally, as you would do, but just be a little careful. And that's likewise when people are turning and coming across you as well. Just as long as you anticipate that kind of thing and expect it, then it becomes a lot easier. And they're my main tips, really. Try and keep calm, be patient. This job will teach you that, and also lots of thinking ahead, anticipation, especially when you're looking ahead as well. And if you're, the bigger the vehicle you're driving, the further ahead you look as well, and that all helps. But overall, we're never going to get rid of those annoying car drivers, very inconsiderate for those who are like that, and very impatient, especially early in the mornings, pitch black, busy motorways, and they just can't wait to use that horn to tell you to get a move on, and it's just out of order. It really is. I've been on one of my scenarios. I was frequently happens this, everyone will testify to this. You're in an unknown area, and certain lanes go certain areas, and suddenly you realise you're in the wrong lane, and you've quickly got to get over, and you just have to put your signal on and wait, and if you get a few beeps, which I do occasionally, they go past and you give them a few looks yourself. It's just not on. I know a few drivers who have certainly taken it a bit further than that, and they'll follow the driver, and they'll get right up his arse, so to speak. I think that's a bit dangerous myself, and it can obviously go a bit out of hand that way. You should really try and keep a lid on things in that respect. Also as well, as far as car frustration, drivers, there is those as well. It's not quite as verbally abusive, I should say, but it's when you overtake or trying to overtake slow car drivers who are going maybe 55, 56 miles an hour. You get close to them and suddenly they start speeding up again, and then you go back in the left-hand lane, then they're slowing down, you have to keep coming out. Very, very frustrating. Again, I understand why they're doing it, because a lot of the time car drivers, they might not have cruise control, and they're just trying to conserve petrol. I get that, and you do learn that again. But sometimes a quick flash of the lights, might just help them understand that what they're doing is not quite the best thing. But that's it, yeah. You will have to deal with these things on the road. You will have to deal with annoying car drivers. But the good news is, if you're doing the job right, you will learn to deal with it. It's as simple as that. Right, that's my video over for today. Join me for some more videos very soon. Some good ones coming up. Thank you again for all the subscribers. Very much appreciated. I'm hoping to grow this channel and grow and grow and grow. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and keep on trucking.